Welcome to the UK Travel Planning Podcast. Your host is the founder of the UK Travel Planning website, Tracy Collins. In this podcast, Tracy shares destination guides, travel tips, and itinerary ideas, as well as interviews with a variety of guests who share their knowledge and experience of UK travel to help you plan your perfect UK vacation. Join us as we explore the UK from cosmopolitan cities to quaint villages, from historic castles to beautiful islands, and from the picturesque countryside to seaside towns.
Hi and welcome to episode 62 of the UK Travel Planner podcast. In this week's episode, I have the lovely Victoria from Cotswold Teacup Tours here to talk all about the Cotswolds in the winter. Victoria has been on the podcast before in episodes 33, 27 and 20. So once you've listened to this episode, I know you are going to want to go back and listen to those episodes with Victoria if you haven't already. And obviously the question is, why would you not want to visit the Cotswolds? I ask you because honestly, it is one of my favourite places to visit, so really should be on your itinerary. Anyway, let me introduce Victoria to you. Victoria, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, please?
Oh, hello, Tracy, again. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for having me back again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
So my little company is about a year and a half old now, and I'm having a very busy summer, and lots of bookings booked every day at the moment.
Fantastic.
So off we go out exploring all sorts of different areas of the Cotswolds.
And it's brilliant. And I know quite a few people from their Facebook group and who've looked on the website and who've listened to the podcast have booked your tours and absolutely love them. And Doug and I were very lucky to meet up with you a few months ago when we were in the Cotswolds and had a lovely day out. So I highly recommend it if you're listening to this podcast and thinking, I really would like to have a tour of the Cotswolds with Victoria, that you pop over to her website. There will be a link in the show notes. And book, because she is, as you heard, extremely busy. So even next year, it's not too early to book, is it, Victoria?
No, actually, they're already coming in.
There you go, you see. So, but we thought we would talk about, because we do get questions about the Cotswolds and in winter. Okay, so, is it worth visiting the Cotswolds in winter? Well, I'm going to say it's one of my favourite times to visit the Cotswolds, but the best person really to talk about the Cotswolds in winter is Victoria. So, first of all, I thought I'd ask you about when is winter in the Cotswolds?
Right, okay, so really winter time begins November, December, January, February. Those kind of 4 months are the coldest.
Yep. And what's it like? So what's the weather generally like during that time?
Well, usually the temperatures drop down to kind of freezing. I can never remember what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's freezing.
It's cold.
And it's cold.
It's cold.
It's cold. It's thick coats, cozy jumpers, hats and gloves, and base layers.
Yeah.
Really thick socks. Layers. That's the key, Tracy.
Yeah, it is. And I have got photos of me standing in front of Arlington Row in January 2020, very layered up.
Yeah, good.
So what about hours of daylight? Because obviously we're not in the summer, so we don't have those great big long fantastic days of daylight. So when does it start getting light and dark?
Well, it's usually about sort of 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, I suppose, and then it gets dark by about 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the deepest winter, it might even be 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Sort of 4, 5, yeah.
But obviously the thing is about the Cotswolds in winter is that it is less busy. Is that right?
Oh, yes, it is. It's completely different to the summertime when you have somewhere busy like Broughton on the Water, which I might try and avoid at this time of the year, unless I've got the timings right in the day. But when you go at winter time, it's transformed magically. And all the little shops have all the fairy lights lit. And they put a huge Christmas tree in the river. And so all the lights on the tree reflect into the river. It's so pretty, Tracy.
Oh, well, I'm going to be going there this year, so I'm very excited about visiting.
Yeah.
So that's obviously the run up to Christmas period that they have all those lights on.
That's right. They keep that there through... I think it probably goes up beginning of December through after Christmas. Usually most Christmas decorations stay up through January these days. We all like to keep hold of the lights for longer.
Yeah, that make everything so pretty, don't they? So it's really nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little bit quieter, so that's an advantage, because I know how busy it can be in the summer, particularly in some of those villages like Bolton on the Water in particular. It seems to get really crazy busy. We were in Stowe in June, and it was busy, but it was okay. It was fine. The roads are crazy though. You know, you can kind of sit in queues for a little bit to get anywhere in some of those places, particularly around Stowe. I think it can get busy. Okay, so if I'm planning to visit the Cotswolds and I'm thinking, well, I'm in the UK and it's going to be over the winter period and I want to go to the Cotswolds for sure, what would I do and where would I go? What would be your top places that you would recommend?
Oh, well, so I always recommend going to places where you can, if it's cold, you can nip in and out of cosy shops, warm up, or pop into a cosy pub. And, you know, you don't always have to drink alcohol in pubs. It's completely fine to go in and have a non-alcoholic drink. And often they'll serve tea and hot chocolates or little tea rooms. And so we will often pop into those. So then Burford and Stowe and Winchcombe, Cirencester, all the small towns are great places, and Bath, great places in the wintertime, because there's lots of little shops to go into and tea rooms, cafes. And
so nice. And I think about when we stayed in Bolton on the Water in January 2020 and going into the Mousetrap Inn, and they have the fire going, and it was so lovely. And then we went out to a restaurant pub. I can't remember what it was now, just outside Bolton. Got a taxi. Oh no, we had the car. That's right. We drove out there. But and there was, I remember, a lovely black Labrador sitting in front of the fire at that pub. It was just so cozy, lovely and cozy, and that's what I miss actually about the UK. So it's lovely to have that.
I know. I think that is a unique quality that maybe the Cotswolds has, is that there are all these gorgeous little country pubs with the log fires going, and we're so open here to having dogs in pubs now. That, you know, you've got all these dogs lying down by the fireside or at the feet in the pub, and it all adds to the atmosphere. And there's people standing around the bar having a little chat, the locals, and the barman's chatting away, and it's friendly. And it is like that film, The Holiday.
Yes.
Have you seen the
Yes,
one?
I have.
You know what I'm talking about? And where you've got these beautiful countryside cottage scenes, and then the cozy pub, and that, you know, I think those scenes exist. I think they are real.
Oh, absolutely. And if you get a bit of snow, it's all the better. Now, I know you last year you sent me some photos of Broadway Tower with beautiful snow scene at Broadway Tower. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
get a bit of snow.
Yeah, so it's, fingers crossed it snows when I'm there. I always love it when it snows. How's it? You know, so I mean, obviously we can't guarantee snow, but it is even more magical if it does snow. What's it like for driving around the Cotswolds when it's in winter, especially if it's kind of icy or snow? Is it, do they grit the roads, or is it a little bit, you just have to be careful?
Yeah, so the big gritters go out on the main roads, but on the smaller roads, they're less likely to be gritted. So you need to take it easy. And, you know, often if it's a particularly bad area where there may be black ice, often there's a sign by the road that's permanently there warning you. So you just got to take it easy.
Yeah, or book to go with you because you know the road.
Well, yeah.
In Big Red.
I've got a vehicle, Big Red, and she's geared up for that kind of weather. But also, if it's not snowy, because often people always ask me, you know, how often does it snow in the Cotswolds? And really, it's about 1 or 2 days a year. And then the snow melts pretty quickly and it just becomes slush. But on a bright sunny day, you know, when it's frosty and cold, it's so beautiful. It's not always grey and raining. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I love that. The blue skies, the cold, crisp air and the blue skies. That's also absolutely, yeah, I love it. And actually, the last time I was in the Cotswolds in winter, and in January 2020, it was like that. We had beautiful blue sky and it was cold, wrapped up, and I've got my hat on and my scarf on and my gloves on and you know, my boots, and I was very wrapped up for the cold weather, but it was lovely, and it is magical to visit at that time of year for sure. And what about Christmas markets? I'm thinking about in the run up to Christmas, if you're visiting kind of December time, I know there's Christmas market in Bath and there's one in Oxford. Can you talk about those?
That's right. Yeah, Bath's got a lovely Christmas market. They've got about 200 stalls there now.
Wow.
And so that's quite fun to go and spend a decent amount of time, maybe sort of half a day, perusing the market. Oxford has a Christmas market. It's smaller than Bath's, but if you're in Oxford and you're exploring Oxford and the old city, and then you go to the Christmas market and you have a hot chocolate and you sort of wander about those amazing old buildings. That's a really nice thing to do. Some of the little towns are creating their own Christmas markets now. So Broadway Village has a Christmas market, and I think they do like a late night shopping. I think it might be on Thursdays, and so that's quite fun. All the shops open up and stay open until late, and they're all brightly lit.
Oh, lovely. Yes, I'm adding that into my itinerary for this year. Definitely a lovely place to visit. And I know, obviously, being to Stratford. Stratford's also pretty nice in the with the lights and everything in the run up to Christmas.
Yes.
I know my mum took my daughter there because they lived not too far from Stratford when she visited last year. I think it was probably the one day that they got over that it wasn't raining. Actually, it was a bit rainy last year. I remember my daughter was saying it's just raining all the time, but that is the English weather. It's one of those things, isn't it? You can't guarantee it. Hopefully, you're going to get beautiful those cold, crisp days, but you have to kind of pack for potentially having a little bit of rain as well when you're out and about. But it's all part of the fun of visiting the UK, though.
I know, it's what keeps it green, Tracy.
Absolutely. So how are your bookings looking for the winter? So you're going to be taking tours out over the winter? Is it going to be daily, every day you're offering tours, or obviously I assume you won't be doing that on Christmas Day and Boxing Day and New Year's Day, but otherwise, how are you looking? Yeah, so
you're right. I'll be taking off time over the festive period with my family, but I am running sort of these Christmas shopping days, or just I like to take people to all the independent businesses in the area. There's so many little shops with little, they make their own chocolate, or they have their own homemade blankets and things, or just all sorts of products that are unique to the area, or just unique to England. And so it's fun to take people from those kind of little shopping experiences as well.
Okay, so visiting the Cotswolds, obviously in the winter, is a wonderful thing to do. Whether you want to go and sit in a pub around a cosy fire, whether you want to go and do some of the shops with Victoria and buy some fantastic Christmas presents or presents for yourself, or whether you want to do a lovely walk through the countryside, because there's some lovely places to walk, aren't there, Victoria?
Oh yeah, there's so many great walks. And I tailor walks depending on how long people want to walk for, how cold it is.
About 5 minutes for me.
Yeah, maybe not for you, Tracy.
Well, I'm determined to do the walk from Lower Slaughter to Bourton. That's on my list to do. I need to do it. It's not very long.
No, that's a good walk. Fine.
Yeah. I'm going to dare myself, because I'm not a hiker in any way, shape or form. So I'm going to dare myself that I am going to do that walk this winter.
That's a lovely walk.
Yeah, maybe you'll join me.
Or I'll see you in the pub at the end.
Okay.
It's that way. Go that way.
All right, then. Or you could drop me off at 1 and meet me at the other side. See, there's a drink waiting for you at the other side when you get there, Tracy, around the roaring fire, so we can sit and have a chat. That sounds good, and you're on for that, definitely. So if people want to book a tour with you this winter in the Cotswolds, Victoria, how do they go about that?
Well, via my website, please.
Uh-huh.
So my booking page is all there with my availability on it.
Excellent.
And that's by far the easiest way to book on it.
And would you like to share the URL for your website?
Oh, yeah, that'd help, wouldn't it? www.cotswoldteacuptours.com.
Perfect. And if you didn't get that, don't worry, because there will be a link in the show notes. And as Victoria is one of our preferred partners, you'll also find a listing for Victoria in our directory on the website. So don't worry. The only thing I would say to you is that if you want to do a tour with Victoria, and why wouldn't you? You need to pop over and book, because she is extremely popular and gets booked up rapidly, don't you?
You do.
You do.
I'm lucky bee, yeah.
Because people love going around the Cotswolds, and they love visiting with you, because you know all the places to go, you know lots of people, and you are able to do the driving for them so they can relax and enjoy the scenery without having to worry about any of those little lanes to get down or finding parking anywhere. And you can introduce people to shop owners. For example, when I went to Stone, popped into the chocolate shop and I went, I know Victoria. And they were like, oh, she's so lovely. So, people know you. So that'd be brilliant. So, and also I'm going to be visiting the Cotswolds this winter. So look out in our Facebook group and on our Instagram and hopefully YouTube, if I can get to it, for some videos. And obviously we'll be meeting up with Victoria again. So you'll be able to see some pictures and hopefully some video of Victoria when we're there, if you don't go out on a tour with her. But as I say, I guarantee that you will have a fantastic day. So do book with her.
I love it.
So thanks so much, Victoria, for coming onto the podcast again. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Tracy, for having me.
Thanks for joining us on episode 62 of the UK Travel Planning Podcast. As always, all the information to different places that we have talked about and Victoria's tours are in this week's show notes. So do pop across there to uktravelplanet.com/episode 62. That just leaves me to say for this episode, happy UK travel planning.